Hey y'all, it's y'all favorite cozy girl, Chi the Reality Queen, and I am back again with another episode of Robe Chronicles. Tonight, we're going to be talking about Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 9, Episode 9. This episode starts off with the girls calling out Mia about what she's been saying about Gordon and Ink. And honestly, I'm so happy that they do because we know that Mia is a known liar. And basically, everything that she's been saying, it just doesn't really add up. Like every time Gordon's not really cooperating with her, all of a sudden she's like, he's having an episode, he's this, he's that. And I kind of feel like it's her way to kind of skirt responsibility for her behavior because bringing ink around your kids and bringing him in so quickly and you're not even divorced from Gordon yet, it don't really make no sense. Um and this is still at Wendy's party. And so Wendy is like, hey, you guys, I'm about to get a citation from the governor of Maryland. And they're like, a citation? Don't you mean like a proclamation and this and that? She's like, no, they said citation. They're like, how are you with 4 degrees and you don't know that a citation is a bad thing and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I might be stupid, but I think Wendy knows what they're giving her. And I'm pretty sure they told her what they were giving her. If it was a citation, it's a citation. If it's not, whatever. And, they was trying to play her, but the truth of the matter was she was right. But anyways, Ashley tried to talk to Stacy about her husband and her divorce. And, you know, Stacy is not trying to hear it. She's like, "Oh, we know we're amicable, like we love each other or loved each other or whatever." And Ashley's kind of like, "Girl, you need to be smart about this," which I agree because who a person was when you decided to marry them, chances are is not who they're going to be when you're trying to divorce them because you don't divorce because you're happy and in love. So, basically Ashley's like, okay, no, I need to bring some people who have been divorced and have them talk to her and kind of talk some sense into her because, girl, you sound crazy. Um, and then they talk to her and they're like, okay, you need to be more realistic about what's going on and what this is. And they're like, just make sure you know what you're doing. You need to make sure you know how much money he has, where the money's at, what's going on. And I just think that's good advice. And I'm not saying like, you could say, oh, they're trying to be haters or whatever. But I really do think that when it comes to divorce, you do not know who you're divorcing. You don't. Like, so, you know who you tried to marry, but you don't know who you're divorcing because it's a different person. Um, but she's insistent that everything is amicable and they're all good. Then we see Wendy and she's talking to Eddie's family and they have like a really good conversation and they cry. I mean, I guess they haven't seen each other in like 13 years since they got married. So it's kind of sad, but I'm happy that it seems like they're all getting along and kind of, trying to rekindle. And you know what I like about their rekindling is it doesn't seem forced, right? Because she has been on this show now for 6 seasons or 5 seasons. If they were trying to force it and be like, oh, we're just using you for you're on this show and whatever, whatever, I think it would be different. And that's not kind of the energy that they were coming it with. It seems like they're more like, okay, whatever happened is over and like we're trying to reconcile. And so then the party ends or whatever. Everybody had a good time. The next day, we see Giselle. She meets with Grace to get ice cream, and they talk about Giselle's dad and like how everything, whatever went on. Like Grace wasn't really there, and Angel and Adora had to be there for the mom and kind of go through everything with her. Um, and it's kind of sad, because it seems like the grandfather was really close with those girls. And so I think for Grace to not be there probably was hard for her. I mean, just like any kid and their grandparent. Um, but yeah, that conversation it was really sweet to kind of just see that side. And you can tell, and I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I hope I'm not wrong. But you can kind of tell that this loss has really kind of altered how Giselle is moving in just general sense of how she's moving, how she's dealing with everything. Like it seems like she's really about being different. I hope so. I mean, sometimes it's temporary in the grief or whatever, but she seems a little different. Then we see Ashley at her house and her kids are on the counter per usual. Like her kids are always on the counter. And I know it's probably because, to be eye level with their mama, but I'm like, get them kids off that counter. It like stresses me out to see them kids on that counter like that. Um, so she's on her way to her mediation and she's talking about how she has the kids 7 days a week and but Michael gets them on the weekend. And I'm like, what weekend is there after 7 days? I'm not trying to shade Ashley, but I know she's not always the brightest. But that didn't make no sense. How do you have them 7 days a week, but he has them on the weekend? Those two things cannot happen at the same time. I'm just like, girl, like, I mean, I'm sure she has them 7 days a week, and maybe he has them every other weekend. Maybe that's what she meant. Who knows? Anyways, then we see Kay at her man's office and she's with, I guess it's like a family owned business because his brother's there and his aunt or his sister or whatever. And the brother jokes like, oh, when are you going to become a Diggs and this and that? And, you know, I'm not trying to shade nobody, but Greg, he looks old. So the fact that Greg, and this isn't to be mean, but I feel like Greg looks old. Like you should be ready to marry because you are no spring chicken and you do not look like no spring chicken. Like you need to go and marry. You look like a man that should be married. You don't look like a man that should be playing with nobody's time. Go and marry Greg. But yeah, so then they talk and him and Kay talk and Kay's talking about the lawsuit and everything. And she's like, it seems like everything's going as the plan. The attorneys told them that they'll handle everything. Basically, since she's suing Deborah for throwing that glass in her face. And, the good thing about the case is it's all on camera. I don't even know why it would take any time. Like, Deborah could say whatever she wants, but there's a video that shows exactly what happened and what she did. So it doesn't seem like it needs too much, but it seems like it's been going on a long time. Um, but then Yeah. I feel like also that all these case scenes were added like afterwards. Like they went back and were like, okay, let's get you at his office and let's get this and because some of the stuff it doesn't seem cohesive. I guess that's the word to use. But anyway, so the ladies meet at a little rooftop. It's really cute, actually. They have been meeting at some pretty bummy places in past seasons, but this rooftop seemed like real cute. Like, okay, it's a nice place. Um, and Stacy shows up and immediately starts asking, and they start asking her about the mediation. And she's like, there are so many things I didn't know about, funds, this, that. And I'm like, duh, girl, that's what they was trying to tell you. Like, I'm not saying that Giselle, oh, she don't have a man, but Giselle has been divorced. And she divorced the man that she was in love with, the same way you were in love with your man. Again, love means nothing when it's time for divorce, unfortunately. She was saying that he had stuff in her name, and Wendy kind of sympathizes with her because she's like, honestly, I don't know the bills. I don't know how he pays the mortgage or who he pays the mortgage to or this and that. Kind of like just who cuts the grass, or she's like, she doesn't know. And I think that in a sense that's good. Like, oh, your man's taking care of man's business, whatever. But in the sense that's bad because you should know how to pay your bills. You should know because the truth of the matter is life is too unpredictable to be too reliant on somebody else. You know what I mean? Like, you should know what's going on in your home, baby girl, because what if something happens? God forbid it. But like, you never know. And like, what's her name is getting a divorce, and it's like she obviously pays for her little bachelor pad by herself. Like, why are you acting like you don't know nothing? You should have been asking about stuff as soon as y'all separated and been like, okay, what's up? What is what? I just feel like some people enjoy being oblivious and not knowing. And I think it's like a personality for them, or I don't know. But Stacey needs to get in the know before that divorce surprises her and she's walking around here with nothing like Ashley. Um, then Ashley talks about her mediation and she gets to stuttering, talking about Michael and her didn't come to a decision and he wants her to sign a confidentiality clause to say that she's never going to talk about him in public. And Karen is like, Ashley finally has that bargaining chip. Go get paid. And it's so true because Michael has so many secrets. And if he doesn't want Ashley to spill, then he needs to write a check. A big, 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 big check. Because honestly, if I'm Ashley, I'm writing a tell all because that will probably get her more money than that man would probably pay her because he has a lot of secrets. I'm sure he has a lot of secrets, especially all the stuff that she initially defended him on the show. So it's like, girl, you better tell him to cash you out or you're talking. Plain and simple. Because baby, he's not a good person. So you need to use that to your advantage. And then then we see Karen. She meets with her daughter Raven, and she says she's really proud of her daughter and everything that she's doing. And honestly, I think Raven might be the oldest housewife kid of like the originals. So it actually is really nice to kind of see her. She went to college, she has a job, she's doing well. So I think it's actually really nice to see her kind of working and doing what she's doing. I like it personally, like, because I feel like the housewives, you don't really like a lot of their kids were young, especially on Potomac. So it's good to see the progress. And you hope the same for Giselle's kids who are kind of coming up in that space, like they're going to college and whatever. Um, but then ask her, Karen's talking about her dating life and such, and she's like, oh yeah, I'm dating but no one special. And I'm like, that's right, I haven't seen Raven with anybody, but I feel like when your mom is Karen Huger and your mom is on the Housewives, you got to be real careful about popping out with someone, right? You want to make sure that who you pop out with is for real, because people are a little more nitpicky when your parents are famous. I don't know. Then she talks about how her daughter talks to her daughter about how the ladies have been messy about her situation. And again, if Karen, you were out there, okay, let me shut up, because the truth of the matter is, as long as she has an open case, Karen cannot be honest, or she cannot be the honest that I think people watching want her to be. The honest people want her to be is, oh my God, you're right. I did it. Let me take accountability. I messed up, blah, blah, blah. With an open case, that's not the honest she can be. She cannot be that honest. She has to talk as if she did nothing. And, people are out to get her. I know everybody's tired of that rhetoric, but she has an open case. And like, I just feel like a lot of us viewers are like really dumb and would probably end up messing ourselves up because you don't know when to shut up. And I think Karen knows when to shut up and she knows when to approach something the way that it's supposed to be. And, you know, yeah, but what was funny was Raven kind of responded and she was like, well, anybody who's not approaching this from a health and wellness point is just not your friend. And you need to like let them know that. And I was like, honestly, the daughter, as a marketing whatever, she got this little media training down packed because she know what it is too. Because clearly Raven has been practicing. And maybe Raven is the one giving her mama the advice because honestly, it's like that is the way it needs to be sold until she's either found guilty or innocent. But that's my little 2 cents on that. Then we see Mia. She takes Jacqueline shopping. She I don't know why Jacqueline's friends with her. Like maybe because they've known each other a long time and they're cool. But I feel like, and this is probably why they initially fell out, is Mia is not a good person. Like she's not a good friend. And she feels like because she's currently the one in the position of money and she has stuff or whatever, she feels like she can kind of talk to her friend crazy. And I feel like I don't like that. And I think Jacqueline takes it maybe because she don't have no money, or maybe because she's not famous, or maybe I don't know. But she feels like she has to take it. My friend, I'm not saying she can't say like, "Oh, let's get you in better clothes or whatever." But be like, "Girl, you dress so bad," and blah blah. Mia, you don't dress well. You don't. You don't dress. You don't dress well enough to tell somebody else they dress poorly. That's what I will say. Like, I'm not saying she wears anything particularly bad, but she doesn't wear anything so good. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, it's not bad, but it's not great. It's not great. It's just okay. But but yeah, so anyway, then they talk about her man and how, she was doing, and she brings up how Giselle brought up her issues and stuff at like Wendy's party, and she didn't like it because I forgot, even when she had brought it up at the party and she was walking away, Jacqueline tried to say something. She's like, "Oh, be quiet, you don't defend me," or something like that. So I could tell she was already like upset. And so she brings up her issues again, and she's talking about how like she can't believe that Giselle would do that. And she's like, Giselle's just mad she don't have one man and you have like four. And it's like, that, I'm sorry, but none of Mia's men are like quality. I'm not bragging about having four bums. I'm like, come on now. Maybe the other two aren't bums, but Ink and Gordon's not a bum. He's just an old man who's not well. And Ink is short. I don't know what he does or what his life is about, but he's not cute and he's short. See, if Ink was cute and short, then we could like, make something shake. But Ink isn't cute and he's short. So it's like, maybe he has money. I hope he has money. I mean, I would assume so since he flies back and forth. So maybe or maybe she likes him, like she said, because she's known him a long time. But Mia, girl, mm-mm. I'm not saying Giselle might be jealous of you, but I don't think you have anything for her to be jealous of. No shade. But I feel like Jacqueline's just acting like a lapdog, and so it's like, girl, shut up. Um, and then it's funny because Ashley has her little jumping off a wall thing for her birthday or whatever, or grappling down a wall or whatever it is. And she basically sends out a text inviting everybody, like, it's like a little donation thing. And Karen's like, girl, you don't need to do this. I'll just give you the cash because it's like, for real, why are you wilding? Why would you do something like this? This is silly. This is silly, but whatever. It's for charity. Sometimes I feel like people just put a charity on it just so people don't tell people what they're doing is stupid. Because if you say, "Oh, it's for charity," then people will be like, "Oh, okay, it's for charity. Let me not say that this is stupid, or let me not call it out. Let me just shut up and let it happen because it's for charity." And why are you repelling or grappling? I don't know what they called it, down a wall. It don't make no sense. But anyway, they get there, and when they get there, Mia sees Giselle and she's like, "Oh, we'll have words later." And it's like, girl, like, you're mad Giselle called you out because you're not being a good parent to your kids. You're putting them in a position that you're exposing them to so much with very little care for their health and well-being, mental health and well-being. And it's like, I'm sorry, whether Giselle calls it out, Karen calls it out, it is what it is. But you're mad that you're getting called out because you want to feel like you're in control of everything, and you're not. Because honestly, the stuff that's happening, it don't really make sense. Um, and she's like, but I'll hug you now, but we'll have words later. And so Ashley was talking about how she was really nervous about rappelling down the window. And then we see Ashley in her little confessional look. And girl, I don't think Ashley has ever looked so good in a confessional. Ever. We're 9 seasons in. I don't think Ashley has ever looked this good in a confessional. That little fur off the shoulder with the little bob with the little twist at the end. That little turn up. Okay, Ashley was the look was 10 over 10. 10 over 10. 10 over 10. I loved it. I'm telling you, Ashley, whoever styled you for that, whoever found that, whoever gave you that wig, 10 over 10. Use them again. Keep calling them. Get them on retainer. Because, baby, yes. That's no notes. No notes. It's that was a look. Um, but yeah, so then uh finally, like, Mia confronts Giselle. I think it happened before or after she repelled down the window, whatever. But also at that little thing, all the kids kind of got together. Well, Arabella came, Stacy brought Arabella, and Wendy brought her kids, and obviously Ashley's kids were there, and it was so cute because there's a little clip. It's like in the background, it's super tiny, but there's a clip of Arabella holding Wendy's daughter's hand, walking around like while they're playing, and I just thought that was a really sweet moment that they probably unintentionally got a clip of. Maybe they got it on purpose, but I thought it was just a really cute clip. But anyway, so finally, like I was saying, Mia confronts Giselle and she's like, the problem I have is you brought it to the group. Like, you didn't just come to me when when your daughters were sneaking boys in the DR. I brought it to you. I came to you. I didn't bring it to the group. Like, I thought we were cool enough to do it individually and not bring it to the group and stuff like that. And Karen was like, I think the stress of Mia juggling a pimp village. Honestly, Karen is funny. Karen is an old lady that is hilarious, and she says hilarious things often. Calling Mia's two little men a pimp village. I'm sorry. That was funny to me. That was funny. That was funny. I'm sorry. But it's true. It's like, girl, you running around with the guy that you say has a mental illness and this short man that you calling your new man. But it's like, yeah, these are not, I'm not saying that they're bad options, but these are not options that I want to be on TV with personally. Personally, again, everyone has their preferences, just not me. Um, and Jizzy is like, what are you talking about? But I guess she does say that they ended up sneaking boys in. She's like, you're not living your authentic life. Like, you portray one thing online, but something else. And Giselle's like, what my daughters decide to post on their pages is their business. Like, what I post on my page is my life. And she's like, well, you're not being authentic because your girls were sneaking boys. And that I think was so lame because what does her girls sneaking boys in, her adult girls, 19 and 18, sneaking boys into their hotel room have anything to do with how Giselle parents adults? Like, it's kind of like you get to teens and there's really not much you could tell them. You could just hope that they take the lessons that you've taught them thus far and, like, use them and whatever. But it's like, girl, what does that have to do with you putting your kids' lives in the way that you are, their paternity, questioning their paternity on television, have to do with her letting boys sneak into their hotel room? Like, I just feel like Mia was looking and searching and trying to figure something to bring up about Giselle and her kids. And I just feel like it was so low and dirty and just a weird thing to do that Giselle should have just punched her in the face. Like, that would have been a good response to that. Because why are you bringing up my kids in the most useless manner? Like, I just don't think it was relevant or important or necessary. And she brought it up and it was weird. But I feel like Mia's always trying to bring up irrelevant things to play gotcha. And it's like, girl, no. But that's pretty much how the episode ends, with her telling, you know, Giselle she's not living her authentic life and this and that she's authentic and whatever. And honestly, if that is Mia's authentic life, they need to move it to Tubi. I mean, maybe it's just me, maybe I'm crazy, but I'm like, I don't, Mia's life is not interesting. Like, it's interesting if you're into that type of mess and drama. I feel like for Housewives, there's a level of mess and drama I like. And a fight every so often, great, cool. But the paternity of your 8-year-old, uh, mm, I don't know. Not really a fan. Not really sold on that topic. Seriously, I'm like, we could do without that. We could do without Mia. And honestly, I think she got a little too big for her britches in these past couple seasons. And now she don't know how to act. And they need to humble her by getting rid of her. But you guys tell me what you think. Where are you guys, the fans like myself, feeling about the cast? I think the cast is good though. I'm not saying like when I say get rid of Mia, I really mean just get rid of her. Like, I mean, if they don't have to add nobody, if they want to add somebody, they can, but they don't have to add nobody. I think they should just get rid of Mia and then move forward with who they have. If they want to add someone else, please, no more low class people, or bring back Candace now that she has her little baby, or whatever they got to do, but no more low class, only high class people, people with, that aren't going to be on television talking about we got to question the paternity of my kid, but not in a way that's like, oh, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It just doesn't work for me. But let me know what you guys think. Please like, comment, subscribe, share this video, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.